Hi, welcome back to Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. This is the second how-to video with the acoustic guitar. The first one was basically showing you how to hold it, the names of your strings, making sure it's in tune, a few things about the guitar. I mentioned the headstock, the body. This is your sound hole. I believe, I don't know if I mentioned the bridge last time, but anyway, this is the bridge of the guitar, and these are your fret markers, kind of let you know where you're at on the neck. Now, once you got the guitar, in place, and you know how to hold it, you know your strings, it's in tune. Now you wonder what to do. Now, like I said before, these are just basic how-to videos for somebody who's just getting started. Maybe they just got a guitar, they don't know what to do with it. That's what these videos are for. So if you already know how to play some chords and stuff, you don't need to watch this because you'll just get bored. But if you're somebody who's just getting started, then this is for you. So once you have the guitar in hand, you know how to hold it. You worked on a couple of little basic things like this, kind of get your hands coordinated, used to holding down the strings, used to picking and getting your basic coordination down. Then what you need to do is we need to work on some chords. Now this right here is your pick guard. It's normally down here, but as you can see, I'm playing the right-handed guitar upside down because I play left-handed, but my strings are strung the correct way. So the first chord that I would recommend learning is your E minor chord. Now in these natural chords, you're going to have majors and minors. The easiest chord to play is your E minor. It's going to be on your 5th and 4th string at the 2nd fret with either your 1st and 2nd finger or your 2nd and 3rd finger. Now I would recommend your 2nd and 3rd finger because your E major chord is going to involve your 1st finger on the 3rd string of the 1st fret. So if there ever comes a time in a song you need to go from E minor to E major, you can just do that real easy by putting your finger down. But if you play with these two fingers and you have to go to E major, then you have to switch your fingers around. So playing with your two middle fingers would actually be easier as far as getting to the next chord. And the thing with chords is songs are all different. You're never too sure what chord you're going to go to. So you want to try to practice minimal hand movement principle. Okay, so I would recommend playing your E minor with your two middle fingers. Your 2nd finger on your 5th string of your 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger on your 4th string of your 2nd fret, right underneath it. And then just kind of hold that down and try to get a good tone. And you can strum all strings like this. That's your E minor. And it might take you a little while to get used to holding that down with your fingers because your fingers might not be used to it, the muscles in your hand. So I would recommend just trying to hold it. And then when your fingers get kind of tired, your hand gets a little cramped, take it off there. And while you're resting this hand, like I said before, work with this one. Work with your strumming, lightly strumming. Use a light pick is what I would recommend. And also work on picking the strings individually. You can start from the 6th string, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go back. That's a very good exercise. So these first videos are just going to be like exercises, just to get your coordination down before you start playing songs and things like that. Because you got to be able to hold your chords. Is the first step. Second step is being able to go from chord to chord. That's the second thing you need to learn as well. So it's going to probably take a little while for you to get used to that. But once you get that down, that's your E minor chord. And like I said before, if you take your 1st finger, you put it on your 3rd string, which is your G string, on your 1st fret, that's going to be your E major chord. Major chords have kind of a light, pretty sound. Minor chords have kind of a dark sound, depending on kind of the mood that you're trying to set, which is kind of neat about guitar chords is they have different kind of colors to them, as I would call it. Now, if we go to our E major, so now we got two chords. We have our E minor and we have our E major. Now what's neat about our E major is that if we take that chord shape, and if you look at these as chord shapes, and right now our finger is going to be our 2nd finger is on the 5th string, our 3rd finger is on the 4th string, and our 1st finger is on the 3rd string, and our pinky's off. If we take that shape, those fingers, and just move everything down a string. So now we're on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. Now we're going to be playing A minor. That's got a little bit brighter sound than the E major. And now what you can do is you can practice going from your A minor to your E major. E major, A minor, E major, A minor. And like I said, this is going to probably take you a little while to get used to holding these chords, holding the strings down. So I wouldn't recommend it, coming overnight. But if you practice it, you'll get it down. It might take a little while, but you'll definitely get it down eventually. And what I like about these two chords is the same shape, they're just on different strings. So you can just go from the A minor, back up, move everything up a string, stay on the same frets, and you're going to have your E major. And then you could take your first finger off, and you have your E minor. E minor, put your first finger down, you got E major, you put your fingers, bring them all the way down again, you got E minor. I'm sorry, A minor. Getting the minors mixed up here. So A minor to E major to E minor. So there's 3 chords right there that you can work on. Your E minor, your E major, and your A minor. Those are probably the easiest ones to move between chords. And your A minor again. Now what's neat about your A minor chord is once you get that down, then what you can do is you can take your 3rd finger here, that's on your 3rd string, and you can bring it up to your 5th string on the 3rd fret. And now your 3rd finger is on the 5th string of the 3rd fret. Your 2nd finger is staying on the 4th string of the 2nd fret, and your 1st finger is staying on the 2nd string of the 1st fret. And now you're playing a C major chord. So you got C. It's kind of like a slanted chord. Your fingers should be kind of at a slant, going like this. Okay? So you should be on the 5th string of the 3rd fret, the 4th string of the 2nd fret, and the 2nd string of the 1st fret. And once again, these chords are a bit hard to get used to holding with your fingers, so I wouldn't recommend trying to do it all at once, but just work with a chord at a time. E minor, maybe put your first finger down, do it E major. Take that whole chord shape, move it down, string. Now you got A minor. And then if you could take your 3rd finger, if you can, move that up to the 5th string. Maybe move your fingers up a little bit closer. And now you've got your C major chord. And what's neat about this chord is you can go from C major to A minor by just moving your 3rd finger. Moving your 3rd finger from the 5th string down to the 3rd string underneath your 2nd finger, and you've got A minor. C major, A minor. C major, A minor. So right now in this particular video, we've talked about 4 chords. Our E minor, our E major, we bring that whole shape down, we come to A minor, and then if we can take our 3rd finger and bring it up to the 5th string, keep the other 2 fingers where they were, now you've got C major. Now there's other chords as well, and I'll discuss those later, but in this particular video I'm just going to show you these 4 chords, okay? So, what I would recommend doing, going through those chords, E minor, E major, bring everything down a string, A minor, C major. So there's 4 chords there, and I would recommend just holding a chord and then trying to move to another one. Okay, like C to A minor, that's a good one. And back to C again. Back to A minor. Back to C. Maybe even pick the strings individually. Now these chords are kind of tough, so I wouldn't recommend, you won't get them overnight, but if you practice them, if you work on them just a little bit at a time, maybe 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, pick up your guitar till your hand kind of hurts, and then relax it, maybe put it down, go do something else, come back, try it again, you'll eventually see that your fingers will eventually get these chords down. It might take a little while. Everybody's a little different. You know, younger people seem to pick up things a lot quicker than older people. So if you're a young and adult, you might be able to pick this up quicker. I'm just going through these chords that we just discussed: the A minor, the C, E minor, back to A minor, back to C. And then you can pick the strings individually, strum. As you can see, it sounds like I'm playing a song. And all I'm doing is strumming between those two chords, the C major to the A minor. Back to the C again. So we'll conclude our lesson there. If you have any questions, once again, like I've said before, you can contact me. I'll try to guide you in the right direction. You can contact me at Dwayne'sGuitarLessons.com if you're seeing this on YouTube, or you can contact me with my website if you're seeing it there. Either way is fine. But like I said, these are the basic natural chords that you're going to learn. I would start out with learning myself. And then, you know, as on my next video, I'll go through some of the other chords as well. Okay, so once again, E minor, A minor, C. If you put your first finger down when you're playing the E minor, you'll have E major. Okay, and I'll discuss the A major and G and some of those other chords later. Okay, so work with that. Thank you for your time, and you have yourself a good one. Thanks.